Hello, comrades. Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. My name, of course, is Open a Potato. First of all, thank you very much to everyone who left a comment in the last in the comment section of the last video. A couple of things to pick up on. So it turns out that I was so tilted over the course of the last episode that I actually built an additional fire station on Oil Island. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that it happened. Look, this is just one of the this is one of the quirks of the fact that I was unbelievably tilted by that iron fire. Anyway, comrades, welcome back. Welcome back to the glorious Soviet Republic. I mean, things are going absolutely fantastic. I mean, at this stage, we're not worried about those capitalist pigs taking down our economy. Our economy is strong. It's showing some real resilience, and we're making an absolute arm and a leg. Things are looking very, 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 very good for us, but they can still look better. Yes, indeed, comrade, they can always look better. So, what we're going to be doing over the course of this episode is hopefully, trying to drastically improve our steel output by building a brand new steel mill. But before we do that, I just wanted to have a little look at Mini Constructo and see what the situation was over here and how things are going. Ideally, we need to also tweak the chemical delivery network a little bit, because we've talked about fairly regularly how we need to try and get some chemicals from down in Chemgraz all the way over to our clothes manufacturing area. So that's something that we desperately need to get sorted out. Also, we should probably start work on getting Refinovsky oil refinery up to full capacity. We probably want to try and do a little bit more with that. This train is currently exporting fuel and bitumen. I think for a temporary period of time, we are going to only allow it to load up bitumen, because, I mean, the vast majority of the fuel is actually required, you know, believe it or not. It's required for filling up places, filling up depots, etc., etc., etc. Right, so I want you to turn around. I want you to unload this. Yep, you to unload that. Excellent. So you come back and you can get that unloaded, because we are out of prefabricated panels here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to free up a bunch of space. I'm going to empty this entire storage. I'm going to empty this entire storage as well. I'm going to get rid of the cheapest resources. So that is bricks and the boards. And we're going to keep coal around for the most part. Hopefully my forklifts are going to be able to discard all these bricks and discard all of these boards. And this is basically going to allow me to start construction of a couple more excuse me? I said go back to the station, please. Thank you. Go back to the harbor. That's what I care about. Right, so that's going to allow me to plonk down a couple more of these wonderful residential buildings. Indeed, we can do just that. So we're going to try and get the prefabricated flats probably around about here somewhere, maybe up at the back, somewhere in between the school and, I don't know, the countryside, I guess. That's kind of where we are at this moment in time. But yeah, you know, thank you very much, everyone, for all of the support over the last wee while. I'm really, really glad to see that you guys are enjoying watching these Workers and Resources Soviet Republic videos, because I sure as heck and I'm enjoying making them. This is honestly one of the most enjoyable series that I've had in a long time, and it really is just because this game is so unbelievably good. Like, it's so juicy. You idiot potato. It's so darn juicy. There's so much to explore. By the way, we'll do our I don't know, every episode check-up on the situation of the tunnel, the building situation with regards to the tunnel. I should note, by the way, that there's been a couple of suggestions. Which I have appreciated. I have appreciated all of the suggestions, all of the comments. I read them all. I respond to as many as I can, but I read them all. I read all the suggestions. So there's been a couple of suggestions that instead of having this really, really busy train line between Kolgradsky and the processing area over in Industry Grad. There's been a big suggestion that we instead create just like a massively long conveyor belt that runs basically along the route of the current railway. Now, I mean, that sounds like a wild idea and something that I am kind of entertained by. However, I kind of feel like having as many trains as we do have on this network, it adds a little bit of character, it adds a little bit of spice, it adds, it adds some stakes. I kind of like the excitement of having loads and loads of like little working parts. I really, really do like having trains. Trains are great. They're fantastic. And also, if I was to build a massive conveyor belt between Kolgradsky and Industry Grad, then it would basically make this tunnel completely redundant before it had even opened. And if there's one thing that I know about my Soviet Republic, it's that I don't like to be embarrassed. I don't like to be embarrassed, and therefore the Central Committee will not permit the use of this brand new technology, this conveyor technology, in order to transport resources over long distance. No. No, comrade. We've committed to building the tunnel, and therefore we're going to build the darn tunnel. That's what we're going to do. Right, speaking of the darn tunnel, we have just about reached 92% there. Okay, so we're very, 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 very close, and I'm super, super excited. Super excited that we're getting there. So that is really, really good. For the most part, by the way, I will say our steel mill is outputting a tremendous, tremendous amount of steel. Now, this is a real problem as well. This is a real problem. The fact that we are exporting mechanical components is... Yeah, this is a real problem. I need to rectify this issue first because we're just not making enough money. This is not good. This is not good. I want to see if we can try and fix this. I also need to set up another... I need to set up another train station over here in order to export resources and get them all moved away. I feel like I should do that, but I also feel like I really want to get this steel mill done at some point today. But at the same time, I also feel like it's really, really important that we get an export line so that we're able to move all of our resources down to the border, because we've already committed to exporting a bunch of steel. I mean, we've got what? We've got about 2.5 million rubles just there in terms of steel. Also, this Frida, by the way, is carrying a whole bunch of chemicals, which is really, really nice. Yeah, we're waiting till unloaded at this depot here. And in fact, we should be unloading all of the chemicals from the boat at this very moment in time. And yet somehow we're not unloading the chemicals from the boat, but there we go. Okay, let's set up an export route for the trains so that we can hopefully move some more mechanical components from this warehouse directly over to our export area. If we do this, then that will clear the way for steel production. In my mind, that's the best way that we can solve this this sort of impasse. It's not really an impasse, but I guess it's kind of an impasse. I don't know what the word for it is in Russian, but impasse is a French word. So there you go. There you go. You get a lesson. You get a lesson in languages for free from me. That's right. That's how committed I am. Right. So ideally, the ideal situation for us is that we're just able to plonk down another. There we go. Get this all flattened out. We're able to plonk down just another warehouse right here. Pretty much right next to the existing one. I mean, I like the idea of that. I like the idea of that strongly. I just have a funny feeling that video game, you're not going to allow me to do this. Because I do need access to that tunnel, believe it or not. It is very, very important that we have a connection to this tunnel here. Yeah, rate of descent is too steep. I mean, what about a bridge? Do we want to, crazily enough, just do a bridge thing? It's kind of unbelievable, but I think a bridge might actually legitimately be feasible here. This does seem somewhat ridiculous, though. Right, see if I can level the height from the center over here. And in fact, we're not able to. Okay, so we're going to have to try and manipulate the ground a little bit. If we even can. Right, see if we can try and do something like that. Yeah, okay. And then... Yes, looking good. Looking good. Looking very good, in fact. And will that connect up there? That doesn't want to connect up there. Is it imperative that we have a road connection over here? It is kind of imperative that we have a road connection over here. I mean, what about a tunnel? Is a tunnel just ridiculous? Too short? I feel like a tunnel is just a little bit ridiculous. Okay. Too steep for decline. I mean, if only this darn tunnel didn't have to be in this exact location here, then we would have a much, much, much easier time. I mean, there is nothing stopping us from just moving this warehouse down a little bit, so let's move this down a smidgen. I would like to say that this is just an absolute classic orbital potato move here, right? Say, oh, this is great. We're going to be building the steel mill over the course of this episode. Hurrah! Brand new steel mill. And then proceeds for 40 minutes to not build a steel mill. Well, there you go. I mean, look, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for, don't you? This is the service that you've all come to know. Right. So, that big old mountain that I created right over there is pretty unhelpful, actually. So let's smooth that out a smidgen. And then let's see if we can stick down the warehouse. I actually think maybe this is the best location for the warehouse. Yeah, I think that's a pretty darn good location. If we try and smooth this out a little bit as well, then that'll probably help us in the long run. And you know what? Maybe we're even going to be able to get a road cargo connection set up here. That would be really, really nice. If I'm able to build a... Oh, no, this needs to be electrified because this entire route is electrified here. Right. I have no idea why we still have this terrible dirt road here. In fact, it's so unnecessary. Oh, this is why you don't use the tool, Potato. This is why you don't use the bulldoze tool. Oh, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Right. Let's mix that in there. Excellent. Yep. I'll pay for that bit of track. That's totally fine. I guess I don't necessarily need to pay for this road or this warehouse. This can all get built itself, I believe. In fact, if I could just maybe not do that, maybe just cancel that entire bit of road. There we go. And instead connect it up over here. There we go. 2 warehouses, 1 bird. No, 2 warehouses, 1 stone. 2 stones, 1 bird. 2 warehouses, 1 stone. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And a road cargo station. Now, where am I going to get the road cargo station? Ideally, somewhere around here. Not super inconvenient. Somewhere. Somewhere, yes, here. Here. I mean, I'm committed to the idea of a road cargo station now. See, that's the thing. You've given me hope, video game. You've given me hope. Right. Ditch this cable. That was actually an intentional cable destruction right there. It does happen on rare occasions. Okay. That goes over there. Excellent. Let's get it reconnected. Nice big high voltage cabling. Excellent. Build that. Alright, this, by the way, this is imperative. This is absolutely imperative for the ability for us to make more steel. Why? Just you wait and see. Just you wait and see, folks. This is going to be the most incredible turn of events. That is, don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. It's probably not going to be the most incredible turn of events. Right, and then this comes over here. And this comes up there. Right, that is a really funky little road, but that's fine, I guess. That's totally okay. All right, let's, does this need to be built right now? It doesn't need to be built right now, to be honest. I'm quite content to just let that get built at its own leisure. That's totally fine. Although, I would kind of maybe like to get this road cargo station set up, just so that I can start plumbing in some orders and distribution office sort of stuff. But that's fine. That's not too much of a problem. Right, speaking of distribution offices, let's whap a distribution office down. That's right. Whenever in doubt, folks, whenever you're in doubt of what to do, whap a distribution office down, and I guarantee you the answer will come to you very, very swiftly indeed. Right, so 160,000 rubles. Let's get that. Let's also see if I can repay some of my super expensive loans, because I do have rather a lot of cash now that I'm not having to build 3 million ruble bridges. It's just the way of the world, innit? Right. After we get the distribution office, give me a couple of MAS 2000s. I'm only going to get 4 MAS 2000s. I don't really need to go overboard at this moment in time. The whole point of these MAS 2000s here... Wow, are we already starting work on... Yeah, holy cow, we're already starting work on that. That's brilliant. Build the road cargo station just with some rubles. That's fine. Because now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a route between here and here. Although, we can't set up a route because there's no connection there as of yet. Okay, build that, and then that'll set up a route. Perfect. So now, what we can do is we can say at Mount Cosmolet's warehouse, we're going to load up if the storage percent is above 40, which means that we're always going to keep at least some mechanical components in this warehouse. That's important for 2 reasons. One, it's important for vehicle production, which is, again, it's somewhat of a problem, but it's also important because this is the pickup point for all of the mechanical components which are stored at the Potatograd warehouse setup, the centralized setup over here. So that is very, very important. Speaking of centralized setup, where are we with our train? Yeah, is our train carrying chemicals? Our train's not carrying chemicals. I think our train might be full. Right, that's a problem. So we've got too much plastic. Well, I hate the idea of doing this, but I'm going to discard a whole bunch of plastic from this from the warehouse in Nucleargrad, because it's really very, very imperative that we empty out the plastic on this train, because we don't have any chemicals coming into our nuclear processing area, and that is a real problem. Right, let's also ditch some mechanical components. Again, you hate to see it, but to be honest, it needs to get done. Right. So that is totally fine. Right, so we now should have a pretty empty train. So that mostly means that we can do a whole bunch of chemical transport, because I know for a fact that there are a whole bunch of chemicals down here at this... Nope, not this one. Yes, this warehouse waiting to be picked up. So it's very, very important that we get that sorted. Right. We did indeed make a Volgobalt. You can just go over to that depot for now. We're actually making these ships, like, super, super quickly. I really would like to buy the Frida blueprint, but we don't have the cash for that. And even if we did have the cash for that, it's not really on my list of priorities. But we'll probably get to it at some point. Right. Anyway, returning to the task at hand. This building's without power supply. It doesn't particularly matter. We're going to unload at the Nucleargrad Road Cargo Station, and we're going to unload if the storage is below 90%. Right? So that's brilliant. That's perfect. That's great. The next thing that I want to do... I need to get a bunch of resources exported. So for example, like plastic. I mean, we've got a load of plastic. We've got an absolute load of plastic. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to hook up this medium distribution office that we've just built. I'm going to hook that up to take out anything. If the storage percent is above 70%, or above 80%, let's say, then we can just move it out of the Nucleargrad storage setup, and we can instead just get it exported. Right? So we're just going to send it specifically to this warehouse, which I'm going to build right now, because I can't be bothered waiting. We're going to set it up, and it's all going to work. Right? So this is going to be the office that primarily deals with all of my exporting. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to get a couple more masses. There we go. Up to 8 masses. There's a fire. If it's at an iron mine, I will be very irritated. It's not at an iron mine. Thank goodness gracious me. A fire truck is almost certainly going to reach there before it burns down. Brilliant. Exceptional. Okay, so long story short, we should now be able to remove all of the additional mechanical components that are stopping the mechanical component factory from actually working, because we're too full on the production. So they should all be in play now, and we should in fact be able to remove a whole bunch of resources from this area, which is great. Now, I need to redo this signal. I need to get it reconfigured just a smidgen. Just a regular signal should be fine, and a regular signal there as well. Excellent, 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 excellent. We are also going to get ourselves a brand new train, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. Electric locomotive. The cheapest electric locomotive you can. The DR Class 243. That is the one for me. Oh. It was accidentally a rhyme. Right, so you're going to go over there. Brilliant. You're going to wait until loaded. You're just going to load absolutely anything that you can. And then you're going to head all the way down here. And you're going to unload. And you're going to wait until unloaded. And that is going to be our export route. I'm finally free. I'm finally free of all of this nonsense. So all of the nonsense that we have in the system at the moment, all of the oversupply of plastics, it's all sorted. It's all going to be fixed. You see this? Full on plastics, and it ain't good. It ain't good at all. But now that has been rectified. So that is wonderful. I think the route that these Maz trucks, by the way, have to take in order to get to this road cargo station is rather long at this moment in time, or it is going to be rather long until we get this road properly finished. But that shouldn't be too long. Either way, that sorts out our need for that, which is great, and we should have the mechanical components operating, I believe. We should at least be able to do that. Also, I need to start exporting my trucks again. I've got you. You're not a truck that does anything good for me at the moment. Right, I tell you what, give me some Maz. Give me some Maz open hull trucks. There we go. Wowzers. Okay, I'm straight up out of money. I didn't even realize. Alright, another nice little bridging loan. Do I need to have a super expensive bridging loan? I do not. Just give me 100,000. 100,000, 100k, that's totally fine. Okay, maybe don't buy a Maz then. Just buy 2 reasonably cheap trucks, and we will just get these guys exported as well. Yeah, for now, we'll just get them moved to... We'll just get them moved to the border. We'll just keep on shuttling them to the border at the moment. I mean, look, our vehicle area needs a little bit of work, to be honest. I'm not super happy about the fact that we're, you know, occasionally stopping and starting transport to the border. It's not great. I mean, it's a temporary stopgap measure, but I'm sure it'll be better at some point in the future. Right, so a whole bunch of additional extra components. All of these components we should already have in plentiful supplies over here. We don't have mechanical components at the moment, but mechanical components we have in fairly large supply over here anyway, which is totally fine. And we still actually have got too many of them. But that's fine. That's fine. What can I say? This is good news. I think I might try and get a couple more Maz land trains at some point when I possibly can. But for now, it doesn't particularly matter. The point is that we're moving a whole bunch of resources out of there, which is great. Also, I should have clarified, at Mount Cosmolet's warehouse, we're only going to move mechanical components. We don't want to move anything else. And that is if storage percent goes above... Sure, actually, let's say if it goes above 20%, to be honest. I don't think that that's going to present me with any problems. I think that should hopefully keep things absolutely in order. Right, and then all of this stuff is going to get exported. That's brilliant. That's 500,000 rubles on this train, just as is. That's quite impressive. That's quite impressive. We're almost, very, very almost finished with this road, which is going to reduce dramatically reduce the commute times for these Mazes, but that is totally fine. I think we've got chemicals. No, we don't have chemicals. We don't have chemicals. We do have chemicals. We do have chemicals back in stock, which is great. So that should mean that chemicals are being distributed to all of these nuclear fuel fabrication plants. They are indeed. That's great. That's spectacular. We should have no shortages, which means that there will be no shortage of power today. Not like there was any doubt of there being a power shortage. It was mostly a shortage of resources which were used for export. But that's fine. Right, I mean, that's us in a pretty good place, to be honest. That is us in a pretty darn good place, if I do indeed say so myself. We got a couple of other roads to be built, and we are just about finished with this road right here, which is going to make a tremendous difference, and then we're going to be able to export again. Right, wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. All the time, all the meantime, we've got the steel mill producing at pretty much 100% capacity, which is absolutely incredible. Yeah, what can I say? I'm really, really chuffed with that. One problem that we do have is that we actually have got too much steel. We actually have too much steel. There's too much steel in the steel mill itself, and also in the open storage. Now, I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't have to do this. I was kind of just hoping that this would sort of build itself naturally. However, I think it's become apparent to me that in order to make sure that we don't end up, you know, not utilizing all of our steel production, we really need to build this bridge by hand. Or at least build it with rubles. If I indeed have the rubles. I should probably have used dollars, but you know, that ship has sailed. Right. And then build that. And now, bada bim, bada boom, we should... Perfect. We totally had enough rubles. Hopefully, all of the construction offices just automatically assign themselves to this. They look like they should be able to automatically assign themselves to this building, which is great. What about the ones over here? Yes, looks good. Looks good. However... Oh no, there's not anything there. Okay, so hopefully this is all going to work as soon as I click the continue construction button. All of the construction offices populate. Brilliant. Okay, so when all of the construction offices populate, that means that we actually start work on the railway line production, which is quite incredible. Because at the moment, we are a little bit... Yeah, we're overflowing, actually, in terms of steel, which is not really great, given that I complained about the fact that we didn't have that much steel, and also I'm trying very hard to try and make another steel mill at some point over the course of this episode. Yeah. Unbelievably, we actually do have enough coal, and it seems to be iron that's the problem. We've got plenty of iron over there. Yeah, I mean, look, the number of coal trains that we have coming into the steel mill now... I guess this is fine. How are you not able to do this? A bus platform, small industry grad. Ah, fine. It'll be absolutely extinguished. Yeah, really funny why we're not able to get... Why we're not able to auto-assign to this over here. Yeah, why does it not want to auto-assign? How peculiar. How very, very peculiar indeed. Okay, I'm going to get some dump trucks. Going to get some of this. Throw them all in there. Because they all should be totally within range. There we go. Throw that in there. Throw that in there. Yeah, is it maybe worth us getting a slightly... more direct route between Constructingrad and the railway station? The answer to that is maybe. Maybe, but also maybe not. Right, excellent. So this is going to take a significant number of resources in order to complete, but it'll absolutely be worth it. Absolutely, okay. And honestly, I kind of anticipate that we might even be finished this building by the end of the episode. Maybe that's slightly ambitious, but, you know, you get the picture. It's certainly not going to take that long at all. Right, so let's get all of these 3 offices manually assigned. Again, no idea why the auto finder ain't working. Who am I to question this game? I am but a nobody. Right, so lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of trucks being dispatched at this moment in time. You... Alright. And you. I think that is pretty much all of the construction offices that we're going to need. And already we're starting to see some pretty significant progress. Excellent. Excellent. And excellent. Yep. And excellent. Okay. I think that's absolutely everything that we could possibly need. Wowzers, look at the activity over here. This is incredible. Right, we only actually need 272 tons of steel, which is a little bit lame. I was kind of anticipating a little bit more steel. Tell you what we can do. We can actually sort this out. Unload 100% of anything. Wait until unloaded. Don't do that. And then head up here, and then do 100% of anything. And then we'll copy your orders to you. So that should basically mean that if we can't unload all of the resource from here, we'll just go back to this. We'll go back to this storage area, and we'll just unload over there. So that should be fine. Brilliant. Yep, very, very chuffed with that. That's a nice little amendment just to make sure that we get that little bit more steel production eked out of our existing steel mill. Cool. Very, very cool indeed. Right, folks, I think it's time. This is going to be the end of the era, the end of an era, the true end of the, you know, the fossil fuel era, frankly. And these plants have been around since very, very early on in the first series. Very, very early on. Very, very, very early on. And we're going to destroy them. We're going to destroy them both. But, you know, this is progress. This is progress right here. What you're about to see, this is an evolution. An evolution from the age of coal to the age of nuclear. Demolish that building. Demolish that building. Let's watch in glorious color as these two beasts come down. Boom, 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 boom. That's right. And they melt into the ground, never to be seen again. Truly, truly they did a fantastic job. This is quite a nice view, actually. Look at all the activity going on over at the rail building office. That's very, very nice indeed. Yeah, wow. That makes me kind of sad, actually. I mean, look, what can I say? That was it was a huge part. It was a huge, huge part of the series for the longest time, and it was so important. It was so important for the longest time. It really, really was. But I'm sad to see it go, but I'm delighted that we're going to be replacing it with something a little bit more important. And by a little bit more important, I mean a heck of a lot more important. It's going to be incredible. Right, so the steel mill is a big building. It's a big building, and it requires a lot of respect. Immediately from this perspective, I think a positioning around about here is probably good. So let me see what we actually want to do, and let me see what we need to do. Right, so, I mean, I can keep this small aggregate storage here. I can absolutely do that. Let me have a little look at the conveyor inputs. It might just be the case that this works out at the moment. I mean, this can all be reconfigured a little bit. The bus station there probably doesn't need to still keep operating. Actually, no, tell a lie. It actually does in order for us to supply the prefab panel factory with workers. So that's fine. Also, why the heck do you not have fuel set up? And neither do you. You don't have fuel either. Hold up. 2 seconds. We're going on another classic orbital potato tangent here. Right, there we go. That gets set up over there. Absolutely no idea why we would still need to stop these from being connected up to the fuel network. Yeah, so as it turns out, we've probably been importing like ever so small amounts of fuel because of the fact that we haven't added these to the network. Is it just these two? It's just these three, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So add those 3 there. Any other depots? You're not connected either. Holy cow! Have I actually done anything over here with the forklifts? I haven't even touched them. That's terrible. That's terrible, 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 terrible. Right. Well, excellent. That's great, actually. That's wonderful. So that should immediately mobilize 3 trucks. Yeah, it should immediately mobilize 3 trucks, which is pretty darn great, if I do indeed say so myself. Pretty darn important that we get that set up. Right, so back to the steel mill over here. To be honest, this area deserves a little bit of a cleanup. It does deserve better. However, I don't really want to disconnect these roads that connect up to the buildings, because otherwise I'm going to have to reconnect them, and that could indeed be a little bit of a problem. However, I will get rid of all of the walkway, all of the path, as I simply don't think that there's going to be that much of a need for it. I guess there is a little bit of a need to get a path set up over here. However, we should be able to tighten that up just a smidgen. There we go. Wonderful. Okay. I also expressed my desire ages and ages and ages ago to set up a crossing not allowed. And yet that is wonderful. Okay, well, that's crazy. Too steep for an incline? Video game. Come on, we've talked about this. You just gotta believe in yourself. You just have to believe. No, you're not believing hard enough. That's the problem here. I've talked about my desire to link up this this station over here over to the brand new steel mill. So we are going to do that. I should probably get the rest of the steel mill infrastructure set up before we even attempt that. Right. So we've got the coal coming in here. We can just connect that up. This conveyor engine transfer probably doesn't really need to exist, so we'll get that one demolished. So that's going to be our source of coal. We're going to feed off the sort of main coal network for this. I guess this is going to be the supplementary steel mill, right? This is still going to be the main steel mill. We're still going to supply this one with a whole bunch of trains. That's not to say we won't supply this one but with trains. But you know, this one is definitely going to be the backup, the overproduction, the overflow production. Sure, let's roll with that. Basically, what I mean to say is that it all needs to be connected up to the main conveyor network, which means we either need to get a conveyor connection from over here or over here over to here. Well, I suspect that it's probably going to be a little bit easier to set up a connection from here. Yeah, we'll give it a shot, shall we? Ideally, we're able to connect up. Yeah, actually, that's not super far away from what I'm after. And then the real test is going to be how the heck are we going to get it either over or under this conveyor belt right here. Honestly, doing something like that isn't the worst idea. I think that might in fact be workable. Right, this road as well needs to exist here. In fact, actually, no it doesn't. What am I talking about? This road can be connected up over here, I think. He says, kind of confidently. It is a little bit of a steep incline, but yeah, there we go. That's totally fine. So if we do that, then that allows us to free up this space right here. And then that will allow us to place the conveyor engine transfer slightly closer. Slightly closer, he says. Okay, this needs a little bit of terrain flattening. There cannot be much terrain flattening because there's not much space around here. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you're given. And it turns out that we're not being given very much here. We're being given very, very, very little. Okay, new plan. Ditch that. Right? Ditch that, and then we go modded. We go conveyor, engine transfer, and we try... What am I looking for? I'm looking for this one. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for, in exactly the position that I was looking for. This whole setup would not be possible. That is exactly what I'm after. That is exactly what I'm after. And in fact, you know what? That is so close to perfection that I kind of just want to nail that right in there. Right. Yes. Very good. Very close. Very close. How close are we to being able to connect it up from this side? It works. It works in a single... It works in the single thing. Oh my goodness. Oh my giddy aunt. I'm so excited. I mean, that is exceptional. Okay, we gotta find where that was. It's around here. Video game, I know you want to do it. I know you want to do it. We've already talked about this. It needs to be, yeah, something like that. Yeah, come on. There we go. We got it. Right, so if this allows me to connect... Smoke, get out the face. Smoke, whatever it is. Dust. If we're able to get around here with a road, then that is pretty much the best case scenario for us. Okay, the fact that that doesn't connect up is ludicrous. Too sharp of a turn. You having a giggle, mate? You having a giggle? Right, yeah, so this is the only problematic aspect of this setup. And in fact, it might not even present too much of a problem. Right, let's continue to lower the land in order to see if we can try and trick the game. Too steep of a descent? Ah, but I saw you wanted to work. You wanted to work with me there, video game. I saw that. There we go. And then this is really the easy part. This is really the easy part, just getting it all connected up over here. And yep, and under here, and it works like an absolute charm. Holy cow, that is exceptional. That is really, really good. It's worth bearing in mind that we don't have an additional buffer. We don't have an additional buffer over here, i.e. we don't have another small aggregate storage. I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. I don't think that that's necessarily a problem at all. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I think we're quite happy with that setup as it is. So that is, I mean, that is good enough. That is good enough. As good enough goes, that is it right there. That is a functional steel mill in the most basic sense. You know, large amount of coal input, large amount. Whoa, 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 what? Last chance to buy the Maz. Oh my goodness, it's that's such a shame. That is, production has ended and there are only limited stocks remaining. Wow, that's a real shame. Okay, well, we're gonna need to buy the vehicle template then. That is imperative. That is absolutely imperative. We cannot go back to a pre-Maz lifestyle. I mean, that's just not happening. It's the open hull variant, I believe, so we will get that. We can't even buy it. It's so darn expensive. Okay, well, we don't have to buy it right now, but we will buy it and we will start producing it if we can't buy it anymore. Right, this is looking great. This is looking fine. We're still working on our export train. Yep, we got 108 tons of electrical components. In fact, we got a load of electrical components. That's totally fine. Are we producing? We're missing chemicals. Again, missing chemicals. Really? Is that still something that we're missing? Because we got 107 tons of plastic. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good. That's not good at all. That is bad. And that is the whole point. That is the whole point of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to clear out the plastic. I'm trying to clear out the excess plastic that we've got here. Nuclear grad small distribution office. Unload it, unload if the storage percent is below 90. Yeah, there we go. We can't have that. We can't have any resources being left in the nuclear grad warehouse here. They all need to be moved out. They all need to be moved out. So get them out of there. I'm sorry that I hadn't spotted that before, but this is a ridiculously complex setup and far too complex. Over complex, I think, is the term that I'm looking for there. Anyway, okay, going back to this area, let me have a little look. Oh, this is a bad location for a road. Yeah, a very, very bad location for a road. Right, ditch that. Ditch that. I mean, this is a bad location for a medium voltage wire as well, to be fair. Alright, so let's just come around the periphery as much as we can of the steel mill and head in here. Right, so I don't really think that there is anything that I want to build like super fast with this steel mill. I'm quite happy for the entire construction to be done by the construction offices. 755 workers. Holy cow, the railway production line legitimately might be finished by the end of this episode. I doubt it, but it's probably not going to be far off. Right, so steel mill needs to be connected. Probably best connected up over this way. There we go. That's looking pretty darn good. This needs to get upgraded. This also needs to get upgraded. I mean, look, this is the steel mill. This is a steel mill. We got to show the steel mill a certain degree of respect, right? We absolutely do. And also, for fire purposes, it's just much better that we have a whole bunch of asphaltified road. Brilliant. So get all of that zoned. Cancel that road over there. That is going to be the steel mill connection. So as soon as the steel mill connection is done, we can actually start work straight away on... start work straight away on the old... on the old steel mill. Or should I say on the brand new steel mill. Right. That's going to be within walking distance, which is fine. We're not going to be supplying the vast majority of people to this steel mill via this bus stop anyway. So, I mean, don't, you know, don't worry yourself about that. Not a problem. Let's get that built. Let's get this built. Bear in mind, by the way, folks, we've only done the first side of this area. We need to now turn our attention to probably the more complex area, and that is going to be the storage area over here. And what the heck are we going to do with the storage area? What the heck are we going to do with the storage area? I don't know. I don't even know how we're going to store our output. It's a conundrum, to be honest. I think we need a setup like that. I think we just want to... Do we just want to straight up export to one singular open storage? I think that's probably what we want to do. Okay, you know those pylons that I just placed? Yeah, let's immediately undo that, and then let's see if we can try and flatten this area out to give us a large enough plateau to play with. Right, we want to keep this steel mill reasonably simple. Whereas in the other steel mill, you know, we've got a specific storage yard for local productions. In this storage yard, we're going to have just a singular output. It's not going to be connected up with forklifts. We're not going to faff around with forklifts at all. We're literally just going to have a single medium storage yard. Yep. It needs to be connected up by road. I have a funny feeling... Oh, it totally can be connected up by road. Okay, well that's great. I was thinking I was going to have to build a bridge over there, but the fact that I don't, that's great. Although, you know me, love an opportunity to build a bridge, but only if it's a multi-million-pound bridge. Multi-million ruble bridge. Okay, so that is the setup that we're going to operate with. Now, the great thing about this steel mill that I've kind of wanted to explore for a while now is utilizing all of these train inputs, but utilizing them through the legs of this bridge. Now, how possible is that going to be? I actually think this is going to be possible. He says. Does look possible. It does look very, very possible. It does look very, very, very possible. And I tell you what, what are the chances of me putting in a tunnel here? No, seriously. What are the chances of me putting in another legendary tunnel? Building is in the way? I mean, I get that there's a building in the way. I get that there are lots of buildings in the way. Overlaps with the existing construction. Building is in the way. Building is in the way. Overlaps with the existing construction. Yeah, but how likely is it? I mean, I feel like there must be a way to get a tunnel through here. Tunnel is above terrain at some stage. Yeah, that's not exactly an ideal trait in a tunnel, is it? Tunnel is above the terrain at some stage. Okay, so if we get rid of this massive divot here, is it even possible to get rid of this divot? It actually totally is possible to get rid of this divot. Right, if I get rid of this massive divot here and create a little bit of a mountain, what are our chances of a tunnel? What are our chances? Tunnel is still above terrain at some stage. It's not far off, though. It's not bloomin' far off. It's not far off at all. I'm just trying to think, is there any way that we can utilize our existing infrastructure to try and support this crazy idea of another tunnel? Building is in the way. Yeah, so where is the problem? Where's the problem area? Oh, you don't like it when I do this, do you, video game? There's a problematic area right here in this little valley, which can actually be solved by just redoing it a little bit. Again, maybe I'm just optimistic. Maybe I'm just optimistic. Maybe this is a great idea. Maybe it's a terrible idea. I don't know. You never know until you try. Isn't that what they say? Also, does that connection even need to be there? Doesn't need to be there. In fact, yeah, there's pretty much no difference in route length if I ditch that road there. Cool. Very, very cool indeed. Right, back to the steel mill and back to the tunnel. Overlaps with existing construction. Yes, what construction does it overlap with? It should not overlap with the existing construction. If I can utilize this railroad right here. So this one right here. If I can take a branch off this way. We get that in there. And then we stick in a tunnel like over to... Oh, goodness gracious me. Over to here. Tunnel is above terrain at some stage. Where is it above the terrain? It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. At this length, it really shouldn't be. What I can do is I'll actually try very, very hard to make sure that we've got plenty of hill here. So we don't need to worry about it. It needs to come a little bit further forward, doesn't it? There we go. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, that's the perfect start. I know this looks like a flippin' slideshow, but that's okay. Overlaps with existing construction. Is this... What construction does it overlap with? Video game, please tell me. Building is in the way. Oh, I don't think it's going to want to do it. I don't think it's going to want to do it. Oh, this is such a shame. Overlaps with existing construction. I mean, so you will do a tunnel to, like, there. Which is kind of cool. And then it just goes to building in the way. I wish I knew what building in the way actually meant. Tunnel is above terrain at some stage. Oh, man. I really, really, really wish that I knew. I really, really, really wish that I knew what building in the way actually meant. Because that is a crying, crying shame that we're not able to get that done. Right, let me try one more time. Just literally a direct route. Building is in the way. There is some building that is in the way. I think it might be the bridge. I think it might be the bridge that we've got there, actually. Yeah, I straight up think that it's the bridge right there. But in saying that, like... I think it might be the bridge here. Oh, that's a real punch to the gut, that is. That is a real punch to the gut that we're not going to be able to get a massive tunnel under there. That's not to say that, you know, we're all out of options. It's just to say that that specific route of that specific tunnel won't work for us. And I do think that it's that bridge. To be fair, we could always just, you know, redo the bridge. I mean, that, however, presents its own difficulties, doesn't it? What about a longer tunnel? I know I'm just clinging to... I'm clinging to threads at this point. Oh, goodness gracious me. Oh, I can't even play this at the moment. Tunnel is above terrain at some stage. I'm really just seeing... Is there any way in which... video game you would consider doing this as a favor to me, a ridiculously long tunnel, because I'm well keen on another tunnel. What about entering there? Even that is somewhat of a problem. Building is in the way. Is it because we've already got the buildings under here anyway? I feel like part of the problem is that this is a very, very busy area, and building tunnels is fraught with conflicts. Apparently. Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna work. Oh man, that's such a bummer. But as I say, I mean, look, we still have to find a way to get a train connection over there. I say we have to get a train connection. We don't actually have to get a train connection. It's just probably something that we're gonna want to do. Right. And then whap this road back in place. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll get that rebuilt. Okay, how are we getting along? How are we getting on the railway production line? Not bad. Not bad at all. How are we getting on over here? Well, hey, we're actually getting chemicals delivered. That's brilliant. That's really, really good. Are we moving the vast majority of chemicals onto this locomotive? We're not. We should be, though. Nuclear grad cargo station. Ah, load if it's above 0%. There we go. We need to make sure that we empty this. We need to empty this entire storage. We need to get it emptied. Last chance to buy. Oh no, we actually need to buy our stuff. We need to buy our stuff. It's imperative. We need to buy our blueprints and start manufacturing our own boats, but our own vehicles even. Right. We do have chemicals. We do have some chemicals. They're just not really here at this moment in time, which is pretty problematic. But there we go. Okay, I need to think of a way about how we go about addressing this steel issue. I mean, okay, here's the easy answer. The easy answer which keeps things reasonably simple for now. The simple answer is that we've got a pretty easy connection to make between, you know, between this track and this output over here. I say it's easy. It's probably not an easy connection to make, but it is a connection that can be made relatively easily. Oh, that's right. That's some bridge-on-bridge action right there. Oh, that's spicy. That's real juicy right there. That's nice. It's good stuff. Right. And continue around here. So, the whole point of the bridge is to bring it up to this point. Bring it up to this point right here. Yes. And then maybe that'll be nice and easy and just connect up. No, it wouldn't do that, would it? It wouldn't do that, video game. But that is basically going to be our export route, right? I mean, pretty simple. Pretty simple, pretty easy to deal with. In fact, we get it crossover. We could get it crossover here. And then come around like so. We'll have to do it in one big chunk, but that'll be fine. Right, and then just sort of loop back in here. Too steep of a descent, that can be rectified. Yep. There we go. Wonderful. And then reconnect this in here. Too steep of an incline. Which is surprising, because we managed to do it with the other train line. There we go. And right in there. Okay, so I mean that's pretty fine. That is pretty fine. I mean, look, I love that. I love that. I love how we've got a really rickety bridge connecting this valley. There's nothing but bridges here. I don't know why I don't just terraform this entire area and, you know, just delete the need for 3 independent bridges. By the way, this bridge, unbelievably expensive bridge, literally just connects up to a storage area, an aggregate storage area. Yeah, you couldn't make that up, could you? Anyway, get that built. So that is going to be our export route. Again, very, very easy. Nothing too complicated there. Yeah, that's totally fine. Need to stick a signal in there, and then I need to stick a signal in there. And also probably a signal in here. It's probably unnecessary, that one, but that's okay. So, that is going to be our export route, and it'll just join up to the main line. How are we doing? 90 tons of plastic. 90 flippin' tons of plastic. How much plastic do we have over here? Lots and lots of plastic. Electrical components factory is working. That's wonderful. Electronics factory is working. That's also wonderful. That's exactly what we like to see. If that entire area is operational, then that is good. That is good stuff. Very, very good stuff indeed. I'm happy with that. Very, very happy with that. Alright, so the road is still being built over here. That's totally fine. Look at that. We're already onto the steel framing. But again, we don't need that much steel. I feel like I have to find something. I have to find something to do with my steel. Oh, what's that, Potato? You actually have a fantastic idea for the next episode about what we're going to do with steel? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Trust me, folks. You're not going to want to miss the next episode. The next episode is going to be fire. It's going to be straight fire. It's going to be great. What do I need to do? I need to get the CAS. I need to get the open hull first. Let me buy the blueprint and immediately stop manufacturing this garbage. Start manufacturing the MAS. There we go. Get that started, please. We are all about the MAS production. That's all I care about. Yeah, so the next episode is going to provide us with the most Soviet way possible to use steel. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Also, has this auto-assigned this, yeah, this industry connection right around the back has also managed to work itself out. That's completely fine. Okay, that's great. That's good. I mean, what can I say? I'm really, really happy with how this whole area is turning out. It's looking really, really good. Our steel mill, by the way, throughout the entirety of this episode has just been working overtime. Totally working overtime. That's 2 million rubles waiting in that boat to go right there. Are we... And we're actually sailing probably another 3 million rubles. Another 4 million rubles, actually. We're sailing another 4 million rubles to the border. Holy cow. So just in exports alone, we've got like 5 million rubles, which are going to be coming into the bank account any second now. That's probably enough to pay off all of our debts, I think. Yeah, legitimately all of our debts, which is pretty fantastic. That's pretty darn good. Right. I mean, look, this is great. This is great. I'm very, very happy with this setup that we've got going on now. It's really, really good. What is this? Power transformer in Kolgradsky. Fire truck is called and is headed to the fire. I have absolute faith that will be entirely possible to extinguish. Brilliant. Okay, we still got a lot of busyness occurring on the track, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, folks. Don't worry about it. Everything is looking good. We've probably got a fair number of people waiting at the station. That's fine. It's not actually too many, to be honest. It's pretty good. Pretty good figure there, actually. Pretty good figure. Is there a connection missing? I guess there's not a connection missing. I guess this is actually all fine. Yeah. Okay, so we've actually managed to sort out the export area. That's really, really good. We are well underway with the steel mill. We're also well underway with the railway production office, which is fantastic as well. Still hasn't really provided this massive outflow of steel that I was looking for. No, I think we're going to need to find something much larger, much grander, much more Soviet to throw all of our steel at. But don't you worry, folks. Don't you worry. We've got something, and we've got something in the next episode. Thanks to all of my fantastic Over the Potato Incorporated Patreon supporters. All of these lovely, lovely, lovely people help make episodes like this possible. Also, thanks to Banana Nana and C Senpai for being the two $25 plus patrons over at patreon.com/Over the Potato. The code word. That's right, the code word. The code word. Think big, comrade. Think big. That's the code word. Smash it down in the comments just to prove that, you know, you've watched right up until, you know, hour 1 minute 3. If indeed that's something that compels you. Ladies and gents, thank you very, very much for watching. I've been Over the Potato. I'll see you next time. Bye.